rather than just dumping information. And I know that there's got to be a combination at some point. We're going to transition to, here's some information about how sales works. Here's some sales training techniques. Here's some, we did, in order to win, you need to fail. That was a Sandler video. And, sales is a conversation between two adults that have the ability to walk away. So treat your prospects like adults, not like children. I'm like, I don't know, I guess I need to come in with
well, the first thing,
a better plan about what I'm sharing with them, because I feel like just walking through this stuff doesn't even motivate me. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff out there that I'm just like, it's just so difficult to weed through all the garbage, because I'm teaching a class that includes a lot of stuff that I don't even agree with.
well, so imagine you got a team of athletes, and they all show up, and you start working on drills with a hockey stick, and they don't know what the first thing about hockey is. Or say you hand them all bats, and you're like, all right, I want you to swing this bat. And they're like, you might need to explain the reasons why it's important. So, for example,
This is a football.
Yeah, this is a football. This is a bat, And so you start off with the basics of, this is sales. Sales is negotiations, but everything in life is sales.
Right, which I did.
You're going to be selling your future spouse on ideas.
Yeah.
Where do we want to go to dinner? I don't care, wherever you want to. You better learn these techniques. If you have kids, you're going to have to sell them. Sales is a very, very important part of life, right?
Yeah, I started with that. Absolutely. And I'm still getting blank stares. I'm like, do I need to say this again? Right? I just said this. No one's eyes lit up necessarily. I think they might have gotten it, but it's not like they're inspired to say, yeah, sales is going to change my life.
Well, so then,
and again, these are college students these days. I guess I can't be as a professor. You also need this professional distance, emotional buffering, because at some point you're like, okay, these are, you're gonna show up. I'm gonna teach the class. You're gonna get this information. You're gonna do these activities. You're gonna write these papers. We're doing role plays. That's the class, right? Like it or not, that's the way it's gonna go.
So
I guess. My other thought, Josh, is beyond my ability to motivate the sales class, which is really interesting to me. It's important, and I think that you've given me some things to think about.
So I would ask,
what's your morning routine right now?
Mine?
Yeah.
My morning routine is wake up at 5 a.m., get to the gym, work out, come home, get the kids ready, get them either out the door, because we got a nice lady that'll pick them up and take them to school, or else I take them to school. But let's get back to your class. I have an interesting idea. What if, when you walk into class, you ask the class, hey, does anyone have $10 I can borrow? Anybody? I need a $10 bill. Can you give me $10? Anybody? Give me $10. All right, cool. Then you take that $10. It's worth it, okay? Take that $10, hold it in front of everybody, and just light it on fire. I guarantee they're going to start paying attention. You're going to have to pay. You're going to have to give somebody $10 of something else, but you light it on fire, and you go, all right. So this could be the rest of this year in this classroom, because y'all are paying for this, okay? So you can either burn your money and just sit there with blank stares and not participate, not get anything out of it. This is the equivalent of going to the gym. I was talking to the lady this morning that sits at the front desk of the YMCA, and I walked in, I was like, oh man, does this count? And I checked in, I scanned my little code on my phone, and the thing goes bling bling, and it's like, you've arrived. And I'm like, does that count? Can I leave now? Does this count as me going to the gym? And I'm making a joke. And she looks at me and she goes, there's some people that actually do that. They come in, they scan, and they leave. And they're like, I made it to the gym. I'm like, seriously? And Micah's just like looked at her and she's like, you're kidding, right? She's like, no, people come in, they scan their little thing and walk out as if like that counted, you know? And it's like, So the level of disinterest in people's future is everywhere. And so how do I get you to be interested in your future? Well, understand that Peter Drucker, one of the best businessmen of all time here in America, said that there's only two main profit centers of any business, innovation and marketing. And marketing is the queen of business, but the king of business is always sales. Because if you have great marketing, but you don't have people to do the sales and close the deals, you're not going to make any money. Good marketing without good salespeople is burning money. Okay? So, you guys think you want to be good at marketing? Well, you should probably understand some sales. So let's get into it. Right? What do you think?
Again, power of negative thinking. I think the fire detector might go up. And then I'm explaining to people why we have the fire department showing up to.
Do you have a shredder?
I do. Yeah.
You could just put it on the trash can, and heck, you could even make a photocopy of a bill and do the switch. You know, do the switcheroo and be like, and just be like, oh.
Yeah.
So, anybody else want to give me some money? Who wants to give me some money? Give me some money. Come on. And you just.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, there's ways to approach it, I guess,
But that way you could bring the conversation in and be like, I want you guys to understand the pain of shredding money. Like, this is, what is it? Is it $20? You can ask them like, hey, and again, if you had a fake dollar bill or something that you put through the shredder, that way you're not destroying actual money. But it's like, look, does that suck? Who's upset about shredding money? What is it that upsets you? What is it that, one of the things that we want to do is we want to talk a little bit about the pain of not doing the things you need to do. And again, if we take a look at the compound effect, and we help them understand that, hey, gaining 5 pounds a year isn't much. Who cares? But gaining 5 pounds a year over the next 10 years, that's 50 pounds. 20 years, that's 100 pounds. So let's be a little bit more intentional here with our time, because time is money. Time is limited. We all get the same amount of time, and time is your only investment that you can invest the same amount as Bill Gates, as Elon Musk. You can invest the same amount as, all these super rich, wealthy people, because they have the same amount that you have, which is time. When I think about how am I equal to Elon Musk and Bill Gates and, all these guys, well, they just invest their time differently. They invest their time in different activities. So, but I am the same as a billionaire or a trillionaire as far as the amount I have. I have the same amount as freaking Elon Musk.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I think using time as the great equalizer is a good technique to get people to appreciate what they have and the choices they make. Yeah.
And so
just talking with you this morning makes me realize that, again, like the sales class, going into it, I kind of anticipated this, but being in it now, I just think like it feels like a class that requires more motivation than the other classes I teach.
Well, and right. maybe your class can feel that from you. So, but also if you take a look at Coach Michael Burt, he does a lot of stuff where he talks about a good coach or teacher will find and fill missing structures. And so you might say, what's some of the missing structures? You know, but also if you're going to talk about time, I would use the line, and if it is a line, you rehearse it. Same as a stump speech. Whenever I worked with politicians, we would work on these stump speeches. But as a teacher, I'm sure you have lines you've kind of rehearsed. But I would say, now that I've got your attention, and I know that your attention is limited because time is limited, we have the next 45 minutes or the next 60 minutes that I want you to invest it wisely, and I'm here to help you. You've paid good money, you've earned scholarships, you've gone through the process of being here and getting dressed, and congratulations, you showed up. But showing up is not enough. You need to actually do the work.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think that that's kind of the situation I find myself in, is I need to challenge my students more rather than just assuming that they're going to do the work on their own. I did use the "I believe" line as we were watching Steve Jobs describe marketing. Right. Marketing is about values. And I believe that a small group of people can change the world.
Yeah.
People who think differently. And then he played his think differently thing, but that was literally the line that he used. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's the line.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I believe that money exchanges hands when problems are solved. I believe that you could come up with all kinds of stuff. I think I sent you a list of stuff that Coach Burt says all the time, but I believe that, and then you follow it up with a question. So I believe that everybody in life needs a good coach. I believe everyone in life needs a good teacher in life. My objective here is to be that for you. Okay, but you got to not say that last part. You got to say everybody in life needs a good teacher. Have you ever had a great teacher? All right, that would be the first thing to do. You don't tell them what you want. You say what you believe, then you ask a question. I think what we typically do is we say what we believe and then we word vomit. So I believe everyone in life needs a good teacher. I'm just curious, have you guys ever had a good teacher? And get them to start talking. Yeah, I remember. Tell me about the best teachers that you've ever had. Right? Get them to talk, tell you. And then you can say, all right, well, nobody wants to talk about a good teacher. Tell me about a bad teacher. Have you guys ever had a bad teacher? What made them bad? What made them terrible? What made them the worst ever? And get them to talk about it. And then you can say, okay, well, I believe that a good teacher will find and fill your missing structures. What is a missing structure? It's a habit, a routine, something that you do daily. It is a system, a process of achieving a goal. What is a goal? A goal could be a target, is something that you intend to hit or surpass. Okay? Goals are dreams that we convert into reality, right? And then that way, all of a sudden, this whole conversation about sales becomes much more interesting to the class.
Yeah, it also makes me think, like, I feel like I've gotten into a bit of a routine or a rut when it comes to my preparation for class, to the point that I mean, honestly,
you're in mechanical mode, you're in burnout mode, you're just going through the actions, and your class can feel it.
Yeah. And for that reason, it's almost like I know that it's not worth recording, right? If I walk in and I said, I'm recording this, it better be great. Because I'm recording it with the intention of, putting it out there.
Well,
getting it to the world.
Getting back to counterfactual thinking or increasing the pain, whether or not you do, you can imagine that you are. This is being recorded. This is going to go out there to the universe. This is going to be, maybe imagine that the kids are recording you. Imagine that the students are recording you. Imagine it. Put it in your own mind. I was listening to a guy talking about how he broke the world record on the amount of weight that someone can lift, and he lifted something ridiculous, 700-800 pounds or something. And he said the way I did it was I made it so real in my mind that if I didn't lift this amount of weight, that my son was going to die. I imagined that I wasn't just lifting the weight, I was saving my son's life. And so I put that in my mind. And so when he lifted the weight, he actually had a nosebleed. Like he did some damage, but he broke a world record. Like he got his adrenaline going. He told himself a story. So sometimes the stories we tell, we can manufacture in us a story to help us achieve peak performance. If I don't do this, then, and you can manufacture that story. So when you are in class, when you are teaching, tell yourself the story of whatever it is. But using that increasing the pain, which is a Tony Robbins routine, or counterfactual thinking. Coach Burt says it came from somewhere. I don't remember who he gives credit to, but it's the idea of
it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the idea of that. But at the same time, I think about the Bible where it says, I cast you out where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth, or you're into the outer darkness, right? So, well, let me see. He calls them wicked and slothful, right? So,
hell is the ultimate negative outcome.
Yeah, so in reflecting on the conversation with Patrick Kecourt, so the thing that I wrote, first let's consider the idea of linking pain to undesirable actions to encourage change. This method leverages a fundamental aspect of human behavior, that we are more often motivated to avoid pain than to seek pleasure. But this was something that Paul talked about, where he recognizes this truth. He wrote in Romans 7:15, for I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing that I hate. Paul describes the internal conflict we all experience where we know the right thing to do and we actually do the wrong thing. So in these situations, associating negative consequences with our poor choices can be a powerful motivator for change. The prudent see danger. This is in Proverbs 22. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. And so what we can extrapolate from that is that envisioning the dangers ahead allows us to take action and be proactive to avoid those dangers. The prudent see danger and take action. Take refuge, right? And so, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's a good devotion for today.
Cool. All right, well, I am going to get back to content creation, and I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. See you, Josh.
See you.